Man, I miss talking about My Hero Academia. Even though it's only been a week of a break, I just really wanted to get back into this world, and I'm glad to have it back. So yeah, let's talk about My Hero chapter 278. Alright, so welcome back to my channel. My name is Davi Paxari, and this is the channel where I talk about pop culture and entertainment. And today I'm going to be focusing on My Hero Academia chapter 278. I've been talking about these for the last couple of weeks, and I'm enjoying talking about My Hero Academia because it's my favorite anime. So this arc has been crazy, especially in the manga. So we're going to be talking about it right now and talking about what's going on. So 278 starts with Jiro and everybody else, well, the Class A students, the Class B students, and basically all the heroes or the kids that have been left behind on top of the mountain because they're meant to be the I would say the backup for the heroes in the front lines in the what do you call it? The Liberation Front's home base. Jiro tells the others that she's hearing what's going on and she's saying that something big is coming this way, which is essentially Gigantomachia. And we find out that Kaminari and the Mushroom Girl, which I forgot her name, and the other kids that were on the front lines, well, apart from, Tokoyami, they're back in the the meeting area where the reserved kids were meant to be, who are not meant to be in the front line. So the backup where they're meant to be. So the teachers who are protecting them go and attack, and then we're finding out that obviously that big thing is Gigantomachia going on a madness, and he's being held at bay by Mount Lady, who, God bless her soul that she's trying, but we all know there's only one winner in that fight. While Gigantomachia is holding Mount Lady, we find out that the League of Villans are on top of Gigantomachia. He collected all of them while he was going on a rampage in order to take him to Shigaraki. I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm pretty sure Shigaraki told Gigantomachia to get all of them anyway, so he's just following his orders. Also, it doesn't really seem like Gigantomachia cares about everybody else in the Liberation Front. He just cares about the League, like the League of Villains from the Liberation Front. So I wonder if that's a thing where he just doesn't realize that he's leaving people behind, or he legit doesn't care about anybody apart from Shigaraki's core family, if that makes sense. Fights are going left, right, and center. We're seeing Geten versus Cementos. We're seeing Redestro versus Edshot. We're seeing all these battles just going left, right, and center, and I'm just wondering what on earth is going on in this arc, and especially in this area. Like, it's crazy. And then Redestro does the smart thing by telling all the Liberation soldiers, hey, Gigantomachia is on a rampage, follow his ass, like, go with him. Like, obviously, if Shigaraki's awake, because he started to realize that Shigaraki's awake, then there's a big thing going to go down. Go and follow him. Let's go and take over this city, this whole Japan. Like, this is our time, boys. So as Mount Lady is fighting, well, holding Gigantomachia's bay, we also see Kamui Woods take Midnight in order to subdue Gigantomachia, but as she fails, well, as Mount Lady fails, we're seeing Midnight be like, listen, we need to subdue him now. Kamui Woods, get me to his face so that I can just put him to sleep. Like, they're realizing that the situation is so dire. To the surprise of Kamui Woods and Midnight, Darby and the League of Villains are on Gigantomachia's back, which they didn't notice. I mean, it makes sense because Gigantomachia is huge. He is ridiculously huge. So Darby fires some fire at them, and then Midnight's like, no, jumps off it. Or I think Kamui shoots her out to go and get Gigantomachia, only for Compress to use his quirk, which he's actually becoming really, really useful, as I've noticed. But anyway, Compress uses his quirk and releases big ass rubble to stop Midnight, which sends her flying. It sends poor Midnight flying. Like, what else can she do apart from subdue people? Like, of course she's like flung off. What's deep about this chapter is we see Midnight on the floor, bloodied, broken, like, bruised, obviously being flung from that high by rubble. Of course it's gonna bruise her like crazy, and we see her like just saying like, this is pathetic of me. Like, obviously as a hero you don't want to be relying on other people, you want to be saving the day, and they just can't. Like, this enemy is way too strong. So she calls Yayorozu, who's called Creati, and she's telling her, like, listen, here's what you have to do. You have to take care of the situation and you have to find a way to subdue him. That's something that you don't want to be saying as a teacher, especially as a pro hero, because how can you rely a situation this big on kids who haven't even like graduated from high school? It's just, it doesn't seem right for them, and it's just kind of putting a lot of pressure on these kids to try and resolve this situation. So as Midnight's last words, she basically tells Yayorozu, yeah, subdue him, you use any means to subdue him, and we see her get surrounded by a bunch of villains, and we have no idea what's happened to her, which I'm praying she's alive, because fam, oh man, we can't have another hero die like this, but we don't know, man. It's so peak. But anyway, yeah, we don't know her situation. And now Yayorozu just thinking, oh my God, like, what do I do? Like, she you know how Yayorozu is still in the process of learning to not just control her emotions, but control the situation, as she's been developing that from, I believe, season 2 of the anime. So seeing her just obviously in a huge situation, think about it, thinking, do we run? Do we not go? Do we stay? Do we do this plan? Do we do that? And you kind of feel for her, because we've seen what she's been through in terms of learning how to strategize and to basically execute her plans. Like, we've seen the beginning and how she's been growing in terms of that. Now they've put her in a hell or high water situation, and she has to figure out what to do. So what's dope is she does take control of the situation, because we know she's a G, and she tells everybody what they should be doing. She tries to assess the situation with speed. They find out that Gigantomachia is pretty much charging and is almost there, but Mount Lady wakes up again to try to subdue Gigantomachia like a G she is as well. She's awesome. I mean, it reminds me of when in I believe it was the Jakku fight, All for One, where he went on a went on a madness, where she just stood up and then stopped the League of Villains from getting to Bakugo. She has her moment again in this chapter by subduing Gigantomachia again. So now we're seeing the kids all rise up and saying, listen, we are heroes. We can do this. We're trained for this. We put on this clothes to be heroes. This is time to be heroic. And they're all banding up. And that's when this chapter ends. So, wow. So what are my thoughts, right? This chapter is also fire. I mean, okay, I should stop. You should know by now that every chapter, unless I say it's trash, it's going to be fire, because this arc is just insane. And also, I'm really, really happy in the way that the kids are all growing up and maturing in this whole arc. And I feel like now we're going to go into the real shonen-esque version of this war arc, whereby every group has their chance to shine. You know how they do it, kind of like, you know, in One Piece, where you start off with, like, let's say the Sanji fight, then the Usopp fight, then the Nami fight, then all the way leading up to the Luffy fight. I feel like what's happening now is you'll see this group of class 1A and 1B get their chance to shine. Then as the villains move closer and closer to the what do you call it, to the battleground, essentially, you'll now see the individual fight. So you'll now see maybe after their group, maybe some of them will actually be doing the proper fighting. Then you'll now see, let's say, maybe Kaminari have his fight, or Kirishima have his fight, and then afterwards, leading up to like Uraraka having a fight, and then Todoroki having a fight, Bakugo having a fight, then Deku having a major fight. You see what I mean? So I feel like we're finally getting that part of the arc. So what I call this is like the Act 3 part of a One Piece arc. Let's call it that. That's how I feel like it is in this arc right now. Maybe not in Act 3, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's still going to happen. I feel like this arc is probably going to last for another 20 to 30 chapters. But I'm loving the fact that we're finally getting into like the meat of this arc. I mean, it's been pretty meaty already, but this is where we're going to go to the actual meat, aka the fights. That's what we're getting into now. So what did you think of My Hero Academia chapter 278? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments section. I'm open to discussion. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos on pop culture and entertainment. I talk about games, anime, films, and other stuff. And also I do talk about this My Hero Academia manga because I love it and I have to talk about it. So I do these every single week, well, every single time they release the chapters. So yeah, thanks again again for watching, and stay safe, and I hope you have a great day. All right, see ya.